Thank you so much. My name is Daniel Achadi, and I'm the Executive Director of CCMS, celebrating my almost 1-year anniversary of being here. But just so excited to see all of you here. It's been a year of getting back together and enjoying music again in person at the music school after a couple of difficult years. And tonight is such a big milestone in that. We are just so excited to be able to present the Mandolin Festival again. This entire weekend, it's about learning, about sharing musicianship, about cultivating, renewing, and growing friendships together and making connections. And most importantly, tonight is about celebrating David Surette. This is already right there. So I unfortunately did not have the pleasure of meeting David since I wasn't here at that time. But every single day, it's just a testament to David as a person that I feel that after just hearing stories, seeing photos, watching videos of him, and that I feel through all of this community, I feel like I know him a little bit. And every single day that I'm here at the school, his legacy is just everywhere. And it's one of the most important things that we will keep building and taking care of here at the music school for years to come. So with that, I would like to thank all of you. I would like to thank the amazing guest artists who were here the whole weekend. And most of all, I would like to thank the Burks, Susie, Issa, and Juliana. And they've been absolutely instrumental, pun sort of intended, in making sure that this event can happen again. I would also like to thank Peggy Center for not only building this amazing place, but also her staunch support of the event. So with that, please join me in welcoming the Burks.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Daniel, for that lovely introduction. I'm a mess already. Yes, I know. We're very grateful to the school for being on board with continuing this. An interviewer recently just asked me, talking about the Mandolin Festival, how did you make the decision to want to continue this? And I said, well, there was no decision. It just had to happen. But then I was telling the girls in the last few days, I was thinking, we can't let this not happen. We have to make it happen for David. And then in the last few days, I was thinking, what was I thinking? How could I make this happen without David? But we all have. And although we certainly, feel his absence, we also feel his presence, as Daniel was saying. And they dedicated a room to him. You get to see it down the hall, the plaque, the David Surette Ensemble room, and it's beautifully decorated. And he loved the joy of the mandolin. You all know that. You know that he was the biggest cheerleader, and he would always say, "This is the year of the mandolin." Every year. This is the decade of the mandolin. And then when the millennium turned, this is the millennium. Non-stop. So we're going to sing a song, Juliana, Issa, and I. This is a song that comes from the Watersons of an English family of musicians. It's about the sun coming back, which we're all happy to see, right? It's called Bright Phoebus, which is the name for the sun.
Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. No more clouds and no more rain. Gone the clouds, she smiled again. Today, bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. Morning cockerel crowed and he woke me up for the very first time. For the very first time, he crowed for me. Flapped his wings and he strutted around for me for the very first time. For the very first time, he crowed for me. No more clouds and no more rain. Gone the clouds, she smiled again. Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me. You can sing it. No more clouds, no more rain. No more clouds and no more rain. On the clouds, she smiled again. On the clouds, she smiled again. Do that again. No more clouds and no more rain. Gone the clouds, she smiled again. Day bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me.
Last chance.
Today, bright Phoebus, she smiled down on me for the very first time. For the very first time, she smiled on me.
Well, we're going to do you a song that that David wrote. That's okay. Everyone, silence your phones. This is a song of David's that David wrote many tunes. You'll hear a few of them tonight, or a couple of them anyway. And he also wrote some beautiful songs. This is one of my favorites. It's called Hear Those Trumpets Play. I need to tune this thing. It's got a little straight. It's fine when it's not fretted. When it's fretted, it goes sharp, flat. Darling, sit down here beside me at the setting of the sun. Only love is left to guide me, 'cause my race is nearly run. I'm going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go? Leave the city and the sorrow, the trouble here below. All the storms will pass us over, all the clouds will fade away. We'll be rolling in the clover, back again someday. All the past is now behind us, heading towards that distant shore. All the ties that bind us will be there forevermore. Every hand comes up a winner, no one's deal is going down. All the saints and all sinners, everybody's glory bound. Darling, can't you hear him calling? Don't you hear those trumpets play? Though the curtain may be falling, we'll be back again someday. Guess I'll have to let it be. I'll just watch the river flowing as it runs down to the sea. The piano keeps on playing, I can hear the banjo ring, and I know just what they're saying. Open up your heart and sing. Yes, the wheel keeps on turning, rolling down the lost highway. Home fire's burning, we'll be back again someday. Oh, the wheel keeps on turning, rolling down the lost highway. Keep the home fires burning, we'll be back again someday. We have had a great day today, celebrating the mandolin, and as somebody said, actually Audrey said, she said, boy, it feels like a reunion around here. Mm-hmm. And as Danny was saying, people haven't been able to gather in the same way, and so to have everybody come back together and be together, play music, honor David, it's been very, very meaningful. So we have 4 fantastic teacher performers for you tonight. The first is a friend of ours he's originally from Newfoundland, lives in Vermont now. He knows a million songs and tunes and is a fantastic teacher as well as a fantastic player and a longtime friend of David's. Please welcome Keith Murphy. Oh, he's right there!
Yeah, we had great fun with the classes today. I have one more thing tomorrow. I'm going to be leading a French-Canadian session back in this room, I think. So I'm going to start off with some French-Canadian tunes. I could play them tomorrow, but I'm going to play them right now as well. First, I'm going to start off with a classic tune called Chaîne des Dames, Ladies' Chain. Issa to come back out. We did a little concert in Kittery last night, and Issa was the hardest working player. That show's probably going to be the case again tonight. It's a great treat to get to play with Issa. This is a song that's an excuse for me to play my mandola. This is a song that I wrote on the mandola a few years ago. I've written a lot of fiddle tunes over the years. I haven't written so many songs, and I kind of really wanted to sort of try writing a song. And I was having trouble kind of getting into it, getting started. But I used this musical technique. I don't quite know how to explain it. I plagiarized another song. But it's folk music, so it's actually encouraged.
I know that technique.
It's a well-worn technique. So there had been this song that I was singing, an old English song called "Time to Remember the Poor," and it was a song encouraging people to remember those less fortunate and to share your worldly possessions. And then at the end of the song, it had this great line, if you hadn't been already persuaded, a line explaining that, when we're all dead and passed on, when we're all laid out in the grave, everyone's the same. No one's got more than another person. The line of the song was, "And the rich will lie down with the poor," because we're all the same there. And I thought, well, that's a great line. I'll steal that song. I'll steal that line, rather. So I used that as the basis for this song of mine called Pharaoh.
Sands of Egypt, the Pharaoh's tomb is cold. Cold comfort to old Ramses' arm is jewels and his gold. And the one who toiled beneath him in bonds he earned shed enjoys an equal freedom in the land of the dead. And the rich will lie down with the poor. Yes, the rich will lie down with the poor. And the mighty kings of England, with their furs and with their crowns, they shiver as they tremble and they moulder in the ground. And the sailor killed in battle, pressed into the royal fleet, lies as well upon the ocean floor, 200 fathoms deep. And the rich will lie down with the poor. Yes, the rich will lie down with the poor. And with their crowns. They shiver as they tremble and they boulder in the ground. I wasn't invited to sing at the coronation today. All right, Skip Gorman is going to come and join me.
Lean this way.
Lean this way. So we're going to do a waltz of mine, and it's a tune in C-sharp minor, C-sharp minor in E major. It's a sort of an odd little tune, and I recorded it with my wife, Becky Tracy, a great fiddle player, and it's called The Last Snow. And Becky has like this very, very specific fiddle harmony part that she kind of plays on this tune, and so I asked Skip to play it, and he was, seemed like a very fussy part, and Skip was a little reluctant to do it, but I've known Skip for a long time, and I know things about Skip that he would rather not be made public. So he thought about it, and then he said, okay, I'll do it.
I worked on it for days.
Yeah, this is not the first time he's told me that.
Well, yeah, it's such a beautiful tune that I just want to do it well, so we'll see what happens.
All right, it's called The Last Snow.
off with a French Canadian song called Nous allons à une fête. It means we're going to a party.
and another teacher, of course, this weekend. He is an amazing Bill Monroe-style mandolin player, fiddle player, guitar player, singer, expert in the long tradition of cowboy songs, and yeah, just all-around great fella. Please make welcome Skip Gorman. Was I?
I was trying to figure out what she was saying. Thank you.
Only good things, mostly.
Well, I normally don't travel with an octave mandolin, but in honor of David, I decided to bring this tonight because he was a gorgeous octave mandolin player. So I thought I'd bring this and at least play a tune, and then Lisa seemed to think that was a good idea. Now we have to see if we're in tune. Close enough for folk music.
We'll do a little adjusting.
The first tune's an old tune I learned actually when I was living in Utah. I was in a string band out there, and we played this tune called Old Christmas. And I recorded it under the name of 5 Miles from Town. So, one and the same, I guess. You know how these names float around. And then the second one I wrote myself called The Green River Ramble. And David and I played it a bunch. He liked it. We did double mandolins on a rounder recording, and then I think we'd get together and play it, you know, at the Mandolin Festival too. So it's a pleasure to have his daughter playing with me tonight. Okay, so what am I doing?
Old Christmas.
Christmas.
That's the one.
Well, we were going to play some waltzes, but last night the show just went on and on. And plus, I had a wonderful waltz class today, and we played this waltz ad nauseum. So they probably don't want to hear it again. So we're going to go right to the Tennessee blues. This is not the East Tennessee blues. This is actually the first instrumental tune that Bill Monroe ever recorded in 1940. And it's very bluesy. It's got that really nice blues twist to it. Try to crank it. Keith Murphy. I switched mandolins because I've got cross tuning here. I've got a D tuning. And I was just experimenting one time with this, and I came up with a tune that I liked. So I done wrote it. And I had bought this old house up in Grafton, New Hampshire in '83, and I had to jack it off the ground so I could put new sills. They were all rotten. And the local road agent said, well, you ought to go see Stu Lang up the road. He does that kind of thing. And so I did, and he was in his 80s. He had been on the USS Arizona in World War I. And I had some jacks, and he showed up with jacks, and tightened it like a banjo head, you know, little turn there, walked around the house. And he had this ingenious way for jacking the house. I looked at him after we had gotten it off the ground and were ready to lower it down. I said, Stu, what's going to happen when we lower this house back on the new sills? He said, well, there'll be a little timber mash, but after that, everything will be fine. So you can guess the name of this tune. Let me just get this loosened up a little bit here. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I love doing all acoustic shows.
Oh, isn't that the best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a forest of microphones in front of me.
Right.
And I also love singing with Susie Burke, and now I love singing with Juliana too. And one of the one of the highlights of coming to the Mandolin Festival was Susie would come and then we figure out something to sing. And we always had a blast.
And so will we yet.
Yes, so will we yet. So last night we tried a song, an old parlor song actually, and Susie reminded me that it came from the 1850s, written by a woman who, her last name was Norton. Caroline Norton. And it was one of the first hits written by a woman. And it's a beautiful song. It's called Juanita. And being a cowboy singer, I thought that Juanita would make a beautiful song for my collection.
Wait till you're happy.
in my dark-eyed splendor, where the moonlight loves to dwell, where he loves and tender, sing their fond farewell. Nita, Bonita, of my soul, if we should part. Nita, Bonita, lean thou on my heart. When in thy dreaming moons like these shall shine again, and daylight gleaming proves thy dreams are vain, wilt thou not relenting for thine actions, love beside, in thy heart consenting to a prayer gone by. Nita, Juanita, come and linger by my side. Nita, Juanita, be my own fair bride. Nita, Juanita, come and linger by my side. Nita, Juanita, be my own fair bride. Thank you. Oh, does he know? Oh,
Steve Roy.
yeah. Yeah, Steve Roy, I met at a mandolin, no, it wasn't a mandolin camp, it was a folk camp. And I think he was playing a lot of mandolin, and then they got him to play some bass, and I couldn't believe how adept he was. You really studied bass, didn't you?
Yeah, so, since I was a little kid.
Yeah. So, wonderful bass player. So, we're going to do the Freight Train Blues. Bob
We
Dylan
are.
sang this. And so, I was born in a two-room shack just about a mile from the railroad track. I was born in a two-room shack just about a mile from the railroad track. Coming up the drops of my lullaby, freight train whistling out the drive. I got the freight train blues. You gotta be the one with the rambling shoes. When the whistle blows, gotta go. You guess never know this freight train blues. My daddy was a fireman, mama here was the only daughter.
going to take a break. We have merchandise in the back that you could, your merchandise table you can look at. We have CDs and there's some books. David wrote a book of French and Italian, well, he didn't write the tunes, he collected French and Italian tunes. He has a tune book. Keith has a tune book. There's CDs, and I know that lots of people don't even listen to CDs anymore, but musicians still make CDs. And so. I said last night you could make, they could be collector's items, but just have them have people's pictures in your home. But thank you. Isn't Skip's, you have a lot more great music coming. Skip and Keith, fantastic. And the girls and I will do another couple songs. So thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for being here, and enjoy the break. We'll see you in a little bit.